Start recording here. I'm just going to make my canvas 1000 by 1000, just to, whatever. And before I get going with any shapes, you'll notice down here, you may not have noticed this, some of you enterprising users may have noticed this, that down here on the document thing, you can change the color mode, you can change the resolution. I might bump mine up to 300 pixels per inch. And then you can look at a grid here, and you've got your normal, just grid, and then you've got an isometric grid. So honestly, I find that the Gravit option is a lot easier than the Illustrator option, because all you've got is just a click of a button and boom, you've got your grid and it'll snap to it and everything. In order to make sure it snaps, you can always go to View, Snap to, and make sure Grid is selected. So we're going to do 3 simple shapes, right? The first shape we're going to create is just a little column that we've done a bajillion times. So let's get our pen tool here and I'll zoom in, just get these things up real close, and I'll just create my little column. So we start off with this diamond at the top. The diamond at the top, this is our top view here. So just make sure that it stays even with everything. And I totally messed that up. So I'll just grab this down, pull this over here, pull this down here. Boom, we've got it. So make sure it stays as even as possible. And then we'll just create our sides, and you can make the sides as tall as you want. We just click off of here and then get my pen tool back, and we'll just click like so, down as far as you'd like, match those up. And then you can make a new one, or you can simply just grab this. I keep hitting the letter B instead of V, which is apparently something, but here we go. Let's just grab this, right click on it, transform it, flip it horizontally, and I should probably make a copy of it. So I'll just Control C, Control V, and then do the same thing, transform, flip horizontal, and just boom, it sticks real easy, right? Like we do, but again, you know the drill. Grab the top, make it one color. I'll make it blue. Grab the bottom, make it that same color, say blue, but just darken it up a little bit. Grab the last side, make it blue, and then darken it up even more, right? And then we'll just grab everything and we'll just take out the stroke. And if I turn my grid off here, again, we've got our beautiful little isometric grid, or isometric shape here. Easy, right? Okay, so we've done this a couple of times. If we wanted to make, say for instance, a cylinder instead of a column, we'll create our little same little diamond shape. In fact, I'm probably just going to grab this diamond shape and alt drag it over this way, and then from there, getting my sub-select tool, which is D on the keyboard, just hit this little button here, grab sub-select, select everything, and then over here on your corner, just drag your corner until all the corners sort of meet together, and then you've got this little ellipse. It's like basically a circle laying on its side. So there you go, you get your little thing there. And then again, we're just going to alt drag this down. Let's get D on the keyboard, V on the keyboard to alt drag it down, just to reproduce it here, and place it wherever you care to. Not sure precisely where that's snapping to. There you go. And then we can just easily get a rectangle, and we can just match that up to the center on this ellipse and the center on the bottom ellipse, and we'll just join these two together. The bottom ellipse and that rectangle, we'll join those together by hitting the little union button, and I'm going to go ahead and convert it to a path. And I'll make sure that this is on the top here. And with this, if we want to create the idea of depth, we'll just add a gradient to it. So with our linear gradient selected, color fill, linear gradient, and we'll just go over here to this stop right there, and we'll get our eyedropper and just sample this color here. So we've got our, and over here, we'll once again grab our stop over this way, and we'll sample this color here, right? So we should have, turn this grid off. You can kind of see this little shape right there. Let's make sure if this grid is actually going the right way. Yeah, it's going the way we want it to. There you go, right? So we have this little darkening kind of area from left to right. That looks like this little, if you wanted to say, for instance, make the, make both sides shadowy and then leave the center, light, you could obviously add another stop, but there we go, that's it. Last thing we'll do for this, again, this is just simply reviewing how, how we do all this, is we'll create sort of a hollow shape that's sort of laying down. So let me get my grid back up, deselect everything so you can find your your isometric grid here. And we'll just create a wider rectangle down here at the bottom. We'll actually create like interlocking shapes here. Sure, we'll save it to the cloud. That'd be great. So we'll just save this as isometric review, one, last name, and then we'll create our little interlocking shapes here. All right, so let's just create with our pen tool that big diamond shape. So again, follow those lines. Okay, I'm going across here. Was that about right? Okay, oh, messed up. Okay, that looks good. Let's make sure. Okay, good, cool. Okay, so we have this. I can just change this to whatever color I want here. So I grab this guy. I'll just change it to, say, for instance, you know, pink or whatever. And then I'll grab the pen tool again and just draw this line. I'm going to have it be like two diamond, you know, full-on diamond shapes, like, you know, from the corner. So that the proportions should stick pretty well for each side. And then I'll just grab all this, and then I'll cut that out in the middle, creating my compound shape here. So by using the subtract tool, I'll just cut that out. V on the keyboard, right-click it, and then convert to path, just so I don't have to be bothered with all the different shapes there. And then we'll just fill in the inside using our pen tool. So using the pen tool, just connecting these sides. And this is where a little bit of spatial awareness helps as far as filling all the stuff in. And we'll grab that, pull this over here, another side like this. And then down here, we could have just easily copied that and reflected it, but I got my pen tool, so I'm just going to real quick pull this through here. Okay, so now we've got our little wall, as it were, just chilling out here. And again, you know, whatever colors you like to use. Well, I'll just keep this being within the same environment here. So like I'll make the top be the lightest, and then in this case, the right side be the darkest. So I'll just pull this down some, or I'll pull this down a good deal, and just sample this color here. And then I'll just, oh, here we go, sample the fill color there. With this color, I'll make it a little bit darker, but not as dark as the other side. And here's this right there. Okay, cool. All right, so we'll have this, and let's have something kind of like sort of occupying the space within it. And I'll just, let's see here, let me just real quick pull the stroke down. So let's create something of similar size. It doesn't have to be identical in terms of its size, but we'll make it, we'll say, for instance, start it right up here. I'll just grab this sort of, just to be able to, I'll move this up. So I'll have this hanging out there, and we'll probably have to do some shape building here to kind of pull these together. But let's click off of this, P on the keyboard here, and I'll just, like so. Interfering with my other shapes. That's okay. All right, there's that. And then we can draw this large square here. And we can pop this out in the middle. So we'll make two little diamond widths from the center here. And we can just pop this out from the middle here. Let's just grab. Okay, I'm going to pull this down some. There we go. All right. I'll just cut this out, subtract that. Okay, so now I've got this guy hanging out here. So I want to have this pink square, like I want it to be kind of like in front of this. So what I can do is I can grab this shape here, make a copy of it, and I can bring it to the top, right? And then what I can do is I can basically just create a little shape here, like say for instance, just a little random shape, just chilling out right here. And then I can select these two and do some shape building here, like intersect these. Whoops. I see. Okay, make sure this is on the top. Control Shift up to make sure it's on the top. Control Shift. So that's there. This is here. Compound path. I feel like, nope, not subtract. Intersect. Oh, I haven't made a copy of it yet. Okay. All right, so make a copy of that and intersect. So now it's hanging out there. This shape should go down. We just pull this down some. Okay, and do the same thing for this shape here. Let's grab this guy here, Control C, Control V, and then bring him up to the top. And then once again, create this little path around it. And then just intersect these. All right, so there you go. All right, so now we've got that hanging out. I could probably just grab this shape here, and I could probably move it wherever I wanted to. It should, grab these guys. It should just stay within the, there we go. So, okay, so they're sort of interlocking here, and then we can add in the shapes behind it on this side. Just pull that down. Oh, I moved that shape out of the way of the grid. All right, so I'll just draw this up. Pull that back to the base. And okay, so now what we can do is we can either make this the same color or we can make it a different color. I'll make it a different color just so the colors don't interfere with each other. I'll just grab this shape here. We'll make it the same like blue color here. So let's sample this color here, this color here with the fill. This color here on the fill. What is happening here? This is curious. Let me drag this over this way and just make sure I've got this. There we go. Oh, I see. It's the compound path that's going on. That's what's happening here. Let me back it up. All right, so this is why we convert everything to a path. I'll right-click on this, convert this to a path, and then I'll mess with the fill color here. Okay, there's that. Same thing here. Grab this. After that. And cool, there we go. So now we have these things that are locking, and I'll just select all this, take the border off this one as well, border off this one as well, border off this thing. There's a border hanging out here. What is this? Border off this guy. All right, cool. Okay, so now let's just turn the grid off, and we'll just arrange these things in such a way that we'll let them all kind of sit in their own space here. I'll just group this together, shrink this down. Whoops. Pop it this way here. Okay, so this is all we want. We just want like the column, the cylinder, and then the interlocking shapes there. Right? That's all we want to do. Once you have that done, let's just go ahead and leave this here, and we'll just go up here to File, Export, JPEG, and we'll make this into let's think here, call it Isometric Review 1 last name, and then submit it to the Dropbox, which is not actually available yet, but I'll make that as soon as we end this meeting here. I'll stop the recording over this way.